So today's fly is the Yoda, and we're going to start with the Tiemco 200R with a 1.5 millimeter bead and about 8 to 10 turns of 10-aught lead. Using gray 16-aught thread, cover the lead with some thread, wrap back to the bend. You want to get some of the bend in here. Now I'm going to take some micro fibbits or mayfly tails, cut about 10 to 15 and tie that in. You want the tail to be about half the length of the body. Wrap up nice and tight. I go over the lead just to kind of help keep any possible thread from going into the lead. Now I'm going to take some micro tubing in gray, tie that in either on top or on the close side of the hook shank, and then wrap back over it. Then I'm going to wrap that micro tubing without leaving any spaces, just creating a durable kind of translucent gray body right up to where the thorax and wing case are going to be. Tie off the thread, or tie off the tubing, trim. Next I'm going to tie in one piece of, this is a fine flashabou in clear pearlescent, not regular size, but it's a thinner diameter, and a small piece of thin skin. I trim all these down to probably around 1/8 or a little bit smaller inch strips. Then I'm going to take some gray, Adams gray UV fine dubbing, about 2 inches of dubbing, keeping it pretty sparse. This is a size 20. Build the thorax, bring over the thin skin, tie it in, trim excess, bring over the flashabou, and I like to bring both pieces over. I think it just gives it a little bit more flash, and I don't know, just makes me feel a little better, like it's going to be a little bit more durable. Now for the legs, we're using that Darlon, which is similar to Antron, but just a little bit easier to work with, not quite as crinkly. I'm going to trim that. I fold it over the thread, which I think is important. It just really locks that in, keep it from pulling out. Tie it in on the other side. I always whip finish twice, and then just because it's easier, I turn the fly so I can see that already trimmed leg up top, and I trim the bottom to match. And that's it. Last step of this is to hit it with, I use a little bit of fluorescing UV fly finish. I put it right on top the wing case. I've been using this Ultra Fire UV light. I've tried a bunch of like the real expensive fancy ones, and that Ultra Fire I think does just as good. Key is to get it right in between the legs without actually getting it on the legs. We're going to hold it for about 20 seconds. A little turn just to get all sides of it. And that is it. Little gray Yoda.